Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Labris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified. This is episode 23 of season 2. My name is Nick Labris, and with me as always is Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell. And boys, we have a chance to build off of a thrilling victory in Cincinnati last week to go 3 games over 500 against the New York Giants this week. Something that I don't think any of us really thought was going to be something we'd get to this season. So it's pretty exciting to me. So on today's show, we're going to dive into all things Bears. As always, we're going to preview their week 10 matchup against the New York Giants at home. We're going to, unfortunately for me, talk through some Guillotine League stuff. And then, of course, we're going to hit on our bets of the week. But before we get to our Bears preview, I want to talk to you about our friends over at Glenrock Pop. Barely Qualified is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glenrock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar, poured into classic glass bottles and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glenrock is more than a drink, it's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or my personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glenrock is bringing the joy back to every corner of Lake County. Do you want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glenrock Pop on Facebook for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glenrock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. All right, so boys, like I said at the top, Bears have a big opportunity here. Big opportunity against the Giants team who, well, frankly, not a very good Giants team and also missing their best players. So real opportunity for the Bears to go ahead and go 3 games over 500, like I said. And the bookmakers seem to agree with that. Bears are minus 4.5. It's at home, but the Bears are minus 4.5. Over under set at 46.5. The game is again, happily, on Sunday at noon in Chicago. No other. I don't think you could ask for a better situation there. Noon at Soldier Field. So, boys, we're going to talk through, I think, some of the storylines right now for this Bears game. And I think the number one storyline, I think this will be talked about a lot, is the game last week and how it ended, and can the Bears build off of that thrilling victory in Cincinnati? On paper, the Bears should win this game against the Giants. The Giants are not a very good team. They have a rookie quarterback with limited weapons on the outside, missing their top right running back, second worst defense in the NFL against the run, second only to, obviously, the team we saw last week, the Cincinnati Bengals. So with that being said, do we think, it seems like DeAndre Swift is going to be back this week. He was where was that? He was not on the, oh, there he is. He was a full participant in practice today. So it seems like he's going to go this week. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Monangai and DeAndre Swift combo running. I've been talking about it for 2 years now. Get a little thunder and lightning situation with Monangai and DeAndre Swift. Do you think that let me pose it this way. Do you guys want to see Monangai get more of the ball because what he showed last week, or do you want to see more of a rotation between the two to kind of, have a fast guy and a bruiser up the middle situation? Jay, I'm gonna kick it to you first. What are your thoughts on the running situation?
Yeah, Nick, I think I'd like to see the, Sonic and Knuckles come to Chicago and, in what Detroit had with Gibbs and Montgomery. I think it gives, Swift an opportunity to keep his legs fresher for the longevity of the season. And I know we were talking about it in the last show, but Monangai ran really hard. And I know, Drew, I know you were saying that there was some gaping holes and some big holes, but he really did pile up a lot of yards after contact. He ran downhill, and it's such a unique running style contrast to Swift. And I think it's exactly what we've been calling for earlier on in the season, someone who can run between the tackles as more of a strength. So I think it opens up a lot more options. I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them in the backfield on a handful of plays this coming week. So I'm all for it. And if we can keep Swift's workload a little bit lower, keep him healthier for the longevity of the season, who knows, maybe a playoff run, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew, you want to see both of them out there, or do you want to see them have like a bell cow back, or you want to kind of go with the committee approach?
Yeah, with the success that we've seemingly found at running back over the past few weeks, I would say almost since week 4?
Since the bye, really, yeah.
Yeah, since the bye, I really, what I just want is health more than anything. And if DeAndre is fully healthy, I'm totally fine with him taking over in a 1A, 1B sort of situation. And you have to get both involved after what you've seen out of Monangai most recently, to see what sort of hot hand dealing you can get into. But what I don't want to happen is DeAndre to get back because either he thinks his job's in jeopardy or something. And it's a long season, and you don't need to have an 80% running back out there in week 10 when we're looking at possibly having longer success than potentially the regular season. So yeah, DeAndre, my biggest thing for him is I want to see him when he's healthy and completely healthy. Don't rush yourself back to just get back and be in the game because you can have some effect. Because, I mean, he's got a groin injury, but I guess you can consider that lower body. Any lower body with a running back is just something that concerns me at all times. So as long as he's completely healthy, come back and let's do a 1A, 1B approach.
Yeah, that's a good point because the groin is obviously one of those soft tissue injuries. It's like a calf or a, thigh injury, stuff like that. Those are injuries that tend to linger, and you might think you're good to go. Then you make one cut or you accelerate one time and you just feel the twinge in your leg again. And so we want to avoid that at all costs. Cause I think, we lucked out against a bad defense last week with how banged up we were. And it turned out to not be a big deal because the Bengals can't stop a JV high school team. So,
True.
And I don't think the Giants can either for that matter, but I do think after this week, we're going to start seeing some big boys and we're going to start seeing some really challenging defenses and some good teams. So you definitely want to be at full strength when you get to that latter part of the schedule because it's about to get a lot tougher after this week.
And too, sorry to keep adding on, but
no.
Kyle's now got NFL tape out there. He's got a full game of NFL tape out there. So whatever you can do to kind of change up that game script, the game scenario of something that DeAndre might do better or somebody else might do better. It helped with Britton Brown at times last week. So like anything you can do to kind of mix up and not reveal your hand when a certain running back is in is going to be best. So Kyle even said it that it was his first game. Not a lot of people had seen him. So, but now it's out there and he's a name out in the league and people are they're going to scheme for that and prepare for that. So whatever you can do to keep that fresh and keep that not on top of everyone's mind at all times is, going to work best.
Yeah. By the way, this just kind of popped into my head. I didn't write it down, but I don't know if you guys have seen this as a clip that's been kind of going viral the last couple of days in Chicago, Twitter, Instagram feeds. Did you guys see the game film or the game highlights of the Caleb Williams versus Kyle Monangai high school game that's going viral right now?
No.
So when they were in high school, their high schools played against each other in a game and they're not like, they didn't grow up near each other. Caleb's from the DC area. Monangai's from New Jersey, but they were both on elite high school football teams. And they did like one of those like out of state, like, elite matchups that was like on ESPN 3 or something like that. Anyway, it was just really cool to see both of them in high school, just like kind of dominating. And I don't know, it was fun. I watched it. If you haven't seen it, I'd say look it up because it's definitely worth like the minute and a half, 2 minutes it is. It's pretty cool just seeing like young them playing. I don't know. I also
That's
love
cool.
it. I have a real soft spot for high school football, so I love that stuff too. But anyway, just thought of it. So to talk a little bit about the Bears' opponent this week, the New York Giants. So the New York Giants, as I mentioned when I kind of did a brief summary of the Giants, missing their top running back, rookie Cam Scadaboo. I don't know. I never knew how to say it. So Scadaboo, is that it?
I always go boo box, but who knows?
Yeah, I think that is. Okay, so you're down your starting running back, your best running back, the guy who leads the team in rushing. You're down your best player / wide receiver in Malik Neighbors. He's been down for I think he's missed the last like 5 games or so. He won't be back this year with the knee injury. So what the Giants are trotting out, they got Jackson Dart, rookie quarterback. He's actually been pretty efficient on the season, like passing numbers, nothing crazy, like not a lot of yards, but 10 touchdowns with 3 interceptions, which is a pretty good ratio. But you got the Giants running game is basically also Jackson Dart at this point. Last week, he led them in carries with 8 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. Devin Singletary, who seems like he's been in the league forever, he had 8 carries and 43 yards. Tyrone Tracy, who I thought was going to have a big bulk of the ball carrying duties last week, did not, and it really hurt me in fantasy in a couple leagues. He got 5 carries for 8 yards, so nothing from the running game really concerns you outside of like Jackson Dart breaking contain and getting out of the pocket and taking off a few times a game. And then their passing game is Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay, he's been fine. Darius Slayton, who's been on the Giants, it seems like forever. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels like was Darius Slayton on the Giants when Eli Manning was still here? Because it feels like he was. He's been here. Feels like he's been there forever.
Might have been.
Yeah. And then Theo Johnson, their tight end, seems like he's coming back this week from an injury. He's in a good red zone target, but nothing really to stretch the field or anything like that. So of all the weapons I just listed, Drew, does anything make you like stay up at night? Are you nervous about any of this stuff? Like, do you, I know the Bears defense isn't a great unit. They are seemingly getting better, which is hard to say after they gave up 42 points last week. But I do think the Bears defense is getting slightly better. They're slowly climbing up the rankings of like runs, like average yards per game, rushing and passing. So I think they're getting better. Does anything in this, the Giants throwing out, anything make you nervous?
The only thing that scares me is that none of it scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, oh boy, are the Bears going to overlook something? Or that's when it feels like just somebody out of nowhere absolutely takes us to the woodshed. And I think the only way that the Giants win this game is if Jackson Dart takes it over completely. There's nothing in their run game that shows me that there's a dynamic runner there or a hard runner there or somebody that's going to blow the doors off of you. Yes, all of those running backs are capable of getting 100 yards against our run defense, but I think the only way, and Brian Dable has seen this, is the only way that they can win right now is Jackson Dart has the ball in his hands for the majority of the game, controls it. Their defense has been all right, but yeah, none of the individual components other than maybe Jackson Dart scare me. And that's what scares me most of all is like, is this going to be an overlooked spot? So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Right when you thought this Thursday night game couldn't get any worse, we got Kenny Pickett coming into the game. So
Yeah.
good
Delicious.
Lord. Jay,
I need the mullet Pickett.
Yeah. Oh man.
I need 60 yards from Brock Bowers, so maybe that'll be good.
Yeah, probably.
Sure,
That'll probably
right?
work out.
He's probably going to hand the ball off on 3rd and 11 here.
Correct.
All right.
Burn it.
Yeah.
A lot of tickets getting ripped up and burnt in the Maxwell household tonight.
All right. So yeah, Jay, I guess same question. Does anything in the Giants offense scare you? Is there anything you can see being like a huge difference in this game outside of maybe like a Bears just mental lapses?
Yeah, I think Drew hit it on the head. I don't think anything like skill wise is nerve wracking about the Giants on paper. It's just Bears' performance and discipline and all of that. And obviously Jackson Dart's got kind of the moxie and escapability to be worried about. What's nice is looking at the Giants without Malik Neighbors. That's quite nice. That was I know it's the Giants, but preseason that was one that kind of jumped out. I was like, Neighbors might go for 250 in this game. So I don't think we have to worry about that. The talent in the receiving core is not something that's intimidating. But Drew, you again, not to glaze you, Drew, but like you hit it. It's like I think that's the worrisome part. It's like these are the kind of games historically where it's like bad team, and then some Joe Schmo puts up 180 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's the former though, and that doesn't quite happen. But yeah, I mean it's contain Dart. Make him make rookie mistakes, and they shouldn't have the talent to do anything crazy. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Like Jackson Dart, I do like him. I think that he's got potential to be a pretty good quarterback in the NFL. I think he's shown that already in his career. But yeah, I mean, even like the best quarterbacks that have been doing it for a while can't typically like do it by themselves. And I just don't think the Giants, like they haven't been, I mean, just looking at their injury report, like they haven't been bitten by the injury bug as like much as often as some of the other teams, but like the injuries come for their best players, which, that sucks to see if you're a Giants fan. One other thing that doesn't really scare me and is the coach on the other side, Brian Daboll. This guy does not scare me in the slightest bit. And I think he is a dead man walking in terms of head coaches in the NFL. So I don't know. Like, it's just, I think like I said, like we were talking a lot of positive things about Ben Johnson last week. We've been talking a lot pretty much since the Bears hired Ben Johnson, but I do think we're going to have to get used to the idea of like, we're going to have the advantage in the coaching matchup most weeks. That's unusual. Like it's something that we're going to have to, like, we don't have to worry about like a team just like scheming, like out scheming us every week. We don't have to worry about like Matt Eberflus's vanilla defense just being gashed all week, all game, because he doesn't change with the game flow or anything like that. So it's exciting. I don't know. I think that I mean, Daboll's been coaching as a head coach longer, but I still think Ben Johnson is a better head coach. I think Brian Daboll has not really shown anything as like a good head coach in the league. He had one season where they made the playoffs and been all bad since then. So
I think he's probably going to catch a reprieve this year with the injuries that they've gotten and switching over to a rookie quarterback.
Maybe
not. I think you lose your best offensive player, you come out with a rookie quarterback and you get 2 wins. I don't know. But Nick, he does not scare me. He looks like a butterball turkey.
There you go.
Very fit.
It is Thanksgiving time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And also like I think he's an Aviators guy.
No.
That's I think on sunny days I see him wearing Aviators. He looks like the sergeant at a police station that probably should just stay at the station. You don't go out on the streets, eat your donuts, and nothing else.
But that guy.
Yeah,
he does look like a small town like cop sergeant. That's
sure. That's what I meant. Not
he's a sheriff.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's spot on. That's all I'm going to see now. Put a little fucking sheriff hat on that guy.
Yeah, a little sheriff mustache as well.
Mustache, yeah. So yeah, I mean, the Bears offense coming off of one of the best we've ever seen them play, honestly, possibly ever. Like I was telling my wife when I was watching the game against the Bengals, after we thought that Edmonds had scored that touchdown, they went up to 48 points, and then eventually they did get there. But I was telling my wife, like, I don't think I can remember the Bears scoring this many points in a game.
Right on.
This is uncharted territory here. So the Bears offense is pretty good. They're kind of hitting their stride now. The Giants defense, like I said at the top of the show, the Giants defense is the second worst in the NFL against the run. They give up 150 yards per game. And then against the pass, they're right around the same as the Bears, so not great. They give up, I had it right here. They give up 232 passing yards a game. So that's, almost, whatever math is, but they give up a lot of yards per game. And I just think, nothing like, I'd like to see the Bears control the ball with the run. I'd like to see Caleb throw, I'd like to see more of what I talked about in the review show where Caleb drops back, and as soon as he hits his last foot, gets that foot planted, he just is decisive and gets the ball out. I don't think it's going to be consequential if he can't, just because I really don't think the Giants are very good. But I do think that it's something, like we talked about at the beginning of the season, like wins, losses aren't really that important this season. We want to see Caleb get better. We want to see the offense get better, the overall team get better, the young players get better. So that's what I'm looking for out of Caleb this week is I want to see him be more decisive, and I want to see him hit that back foot and just let it fly and be accurate with the ball. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to see out of the Bears offense. Drew, anything in particular, or defense?
Yeah, just the overall composure of the offense is going to be major. The thing that we've kind of, I guess, seen the theme of the middle of the season is scoring the realistic amount of points that you should score. You're averaging over 26 points and beating the teams and beating the defenses that you are supposed to beat. This is a team that has given up, since Jackson Dart took over, 26 to the Saints, 33 to the Broncos, and 38 to the Eagles away, and have not won a game away with Jackson Dart under. So that just begs to me that you have your opportunity here. This is mainly, I want to see a throat stepped on and a team dominated from the offensive standpoint over a defense, and not play this sort of like, we'll let them catch up game. We'll let them come on back to the game. We need people to watch. No, just make me turn on Red Zone because you are absolutely dominating this ball game.
Yeah, that's a great call, because that's definitely. Haven't had one of those games yet this year, really. So would like to see some of that. Jay, what do you think? What do you want to see out of the Bears this weekend? Anything in particular?
For the offense, what I'd love to see is if the Bears can take a one possession lead, get the ball back, and then run a hurry up offense and just a whole possession in a hurry up tempo. I don't think we've seen a lot of up tempo for no reason, and I think that would be a fun thing to see for the Bears. And just I think it gives an opportunity because there's so much talent in this team against a really bad defense to just kind of force the defensive line to get gassed, right? And do that early on the first quarter, the second quarter. And, just like in Drew, like you said, give an opportunity to step on the throat. And I think that that up tempo kind of pace could help in that regard. So, we've seen it in years past too, when it's like, all right, Caleb's playing up tempo, things just become a little bit more open. It almost seems like Caleb kind of finds his groove. He thinks a little bit less, right? And I'd like to see that. I don't recall seeing that before, the close out of a half, before the close out of a game, the Bears have run that. I think it's time. I think the teams get a little bit more comfortable in the offense. I think it's something Caleb could carry out.
Yeah, I love that. I would love to see, some more up-tempo stuff, because I think you're right. When they do go up-tempo, it does seem like just the speed of the game. I don't know what it is, but he definitely looks his best when they're playing like in an up-tempo. Like he just is smooth with his throws and makes great reads. So I'd love to see that. That's a great call. So so I guess before we kind of get any deeper, there was a big guys, are you sitting down? The Bears made a big trade at the trade deadline. Anyway, no, they traded for a defensive end from the Cleveland Browns by the name of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, I believe is the name. Sure. Is the pronunciation.
Mm-hmm. Try that.
Looks good to me.
A guy I've clearly heard of a lot in my life. They traded a 6th round pick, and they received a defensive end and a 7th round pick. So they essentially moved back a spot in the back around in the draft to get this guy. So you're not giving up a whole lot. You didn't lose any picks. You just went back around. So, this guy hasn't registered a sack this season, which is saying something considering he's on a defensive line with Myles Garrett and Mason Graham. So that's not a great sign. He is a former first-round pick. His athletic metrics are off the chart for whatever that means. I mean, I've seen it written places that he's got some statistic that measures player athleticism. He's like one of the tops in the league at his position, which great, but clearly it's not translating to any kind of statistical thing. So,
Yeah.
But again, it was a low risk trade. There's, again, really nothing to risk in this at all. Drew, you said it last week, he's a body. He's just a human being that can play football. So that's really all we were looking for is more people. So I don't know. I can't imagine you guys have any hot takes or anything on this trade, but do you guys have anything you want to add to I'm going to call him JTS because I don't want to say his name anymore.
There you go. Deserving of an elite nickname.
Yeah, elite. Yeah, just initials.
I don't have much to add. I know that he's played 31 downs. He's taken 31 snaps this year, and that was something I was hearing. So he's played. I was listening to Waddle and somebody like this guy's a guy who's played 6% of the snaps defensively for Cleveland. He hasn't registered much of anything. He's a body. And Drew, that's exactly what you were saying before. Bodies. Get a guy. The plus side is, hey, he has maybe he still has first round upside. I think he's been 4 or 5 years in the league. He's still in the league. So I'll hang my hat on that. And also hang my hat on the fact that it's the Browns' 7th round pick. So they're, for all things considered, they're probably trading back 20 spots, for this, and you get a body. So nothing more to analyze than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have mentioned at the top, this is a Browns 7th round pick, so it'll essentially be a top 5 pick in the 7th round. So
yeah,
definitely. Anyway, sorry, Drew, go ahead.
No, the only thing that we have one seemingly, obviously Austin Booker is starting to come up, but we have one seemingly really serviceable defensive end. And what I want Dennis Allen, and who knows what he's telling this kid coming in, but I want him to tell every defensive end, just go out there and rush as hard as you possibly can. This should be a carousel, of bodies that we've kept saying, of bodies that just get fresh and keep running. Yeah, you got to put somebody on the other side of Montez, but it just seems like we have this just unknown on the other side of the ball of Montez. Dio wasn't very much. So it's guys, go out there. This is for him. This is an audition because he's on a 1-year contract. So go out there and give everything you got. If you get any snaps, and you're 26 years old, you could potentially get a contract out of this, and that's what that kid should play for. So maybe that brings some fire, or maybe it just shows that he is another 6'5", just slate of a body that will go into modeling after this.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right.
Why not?
So Drew thinks he's hot, so that's good.
Yeah, Drew just feel a little randy.
I will say the one thing, because he's been in the league for 5-6 years. He has 15 sacks in his career, which isn't nothing. So that's not, that's something. I don't want to see him have 4 or 5 sacks this season and the Bears give him not a monster contract, but a long-term extension, expecting him to be the guy and have him kind of, go belly up next year. But, we'll take what we can get. One thing I do want to point out, when I said at the beginning, I was kind of being a little facetious when I made how they made a big trade and all that stuff. I'm glad the Bears didn't make a big trade.
There you go.
I don't know about you guys. I was very, with Ryan Poles, he's taking some big swings at the trade deadline with obviously the Montez Sweat, which worked out for that season. And although we kind of talked about it last week, I do think Montez Sweat is a good player. They're just not really surrounding him with the pieces that he needs to make an impact on the field. But obviously you can't talk about Ryan Poles at the deadline without talking about the Chase Claypool trade, which will probably be something that he lives with for the rest of his life. So when the deadline passed and the only trade the Bears made was for this guy, they swapped 6th and 7th, if they moved back to the 7th round, I actually breathed a sigh of relief because I did
Yeah.
not want to see the Bears trade like future draft capital for a rental that might not even pan out.
Yep. Nick, I think that's spot on. I think that was the big kind of story of the trade deadline is the deals that didn't happen, not giving up second round, day 2 picks, day 1 picks, things like that, making a splash before, we actually have playoff contention team or Super Bowl contending team. Like this isn't the time. We don't need Trey Hendrickson right now for a first or second rounder. We don't need stuff like that. So super happy. I was super happy because we've seen in the past, maybe Poles is kind of learning from some prior trade deadline deals, a la Chase Claypool, a la Montez Sweat. Second rounders have some value to them, and you got to keep those in your back pocket to retool and refresh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the other thing is you're not a piece or even 2 away from what you can consider a Super Bowl or even deep playoff run. So you saw what happened in the NFC East with Jerry going absolutely crazy and some other teams giving away that seemed like they might with Indy giving for Sauce. But yeah, there's no way that you should have tried to move on something that would have maybe not a maximum effort or maximum impact on this team right now. You got to see what you got, and maybe that's down the road and give Poles another chance in another season. But yeah, you guys hit on it perfectly.
Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the trades in the NFL. I know we don't typically go around the league during this section, but I do think some things bear a conversation. You brought up the Dallas Cowboys, and I just want to point out that if you didn't hear, the Dallas Cowboys, they traded for the Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. One of my favorite details about this entire trade deadline is that in the trade to the Jets, the Cowboys specified that they will trade the second round, their second round pick next year, and the better of the Cowboys or Packers 2027 first round picks. Like, okay, we know who's going to have the better pick. Like, there's no doubt. Like, sorry, Cowboys, like you're not, like your team stinks. I know it's next year. Maybe things will change, but it's going to be you're going to get the Cowboys pick. It's what's going to happen. Like, let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
But funny. So the Cowboys, obviously they take Quinnen Williams for no reason that anybody can really figure out. They're definitely not a defensive tackle away from being a good team. They have a lot of holes. But also the Cowboys, it just kind of this trade deadline showed how short they sold themselves. They sold Micah Parsons for, because Sauce Gardner got the exact same compensation, maybe even better compensation, right? Because the Colts gave up 2 first round picks, just like the Packers did for Micah Parsons, and they gave up a player just like the Packers did. But the Packers gave up an aging defensive tackle, whereas the Colts gave the Jets a young wide receiver that's actually flashed a little bit, although it was on a not so great play, but he does seem to have some kind of skills. So it's just the Cowboys had probably the worst trade because they don't need it. That's like, why are they going all in on a team like this? And also it just shows how they could have gotten a lot more for Micah Parsons, it makes me laugh. So that's all I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, Nick, the Jerry Jones brain is getting a little old because he traded for, and Quinnen Williams is a great defensive tackle. Dude's 28. He's got 2 years on his contract after this at like 20, 25 a pop. And if you like take everything and reshuffle the deck, it's like, okay, you traded Micah Parsons for Quinnen Williams, basically straight up at the end of the day. Just about, and you got an aging Quinnen Williams for I guess $20 million less, but like Micah Parsons is one of one in the NFL, and Quinnen's a great player, really is a great player, but getting a little bit older, and he ain't Micah Parsons, so I don't know. It's a very interesting move, especially when it's like, if you're the Cowboys, I think you would probably want to be amassing more draft capital at this point.
Yes. That was I thought that was the whole direction they were going when they traded Micah Parsons, because Jerry Jones kept talking about how it was just like the trade that they made for God, who was their running back in the 80s that they got all those picks for?
Herschel
started
Walker.
their dynasty. Herschel Walker, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the new Herschel Walker trade. Then they just trade away all those picks for aging players that are not really going to help them get any closer. So I think this is like, I mean, this is just what happens when you're crazy oil tycoon owner who is not a football expert is also your GM. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like,
that's it.
it's, yeah, not a great combination. But anyway, we're not a Cowboys podcast, so we're gonna. Drew, do you have any thoughts before? Yeah, go on.
The one last thing too is like, didn't you just trade for a defensive tackle in the Micah Parsons trade of Kenny Clark?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we trying? I guess the key is to stop the run here because the Cowboys defense absolutely sucks. But yeah, it's just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Weird indeed.
Weird indeed. Speaking of weird, I do want to pivot back to the Bears a little bit, actually, because our old buddy, our old pal, we talked about him a little bit last year because he was kind of going off on Twitter, or X as they call it these days. James Odunze, father of Rome Odunze, Bears wide receiver. I put a screenshot of some of his tweets. I think there were more. These are just two of them that I found a quick Google search of him. But he was basically going on Twitter about how the Bears should. He didn't say this. He just like retweeted some stuff. But basically, he's saying the Bears should trade Rome Odunze if they're not going to throw him the ball. He was talking about how Marvin Harrison Sr. is talking about the Cardinals not using his son correctly, and James Odunze is just like good for Senior. He's doing the right thing. It's like this guy just, I don't know. We have one game where the Bears put up 48 points and his son doesn't get the ball. Although we did have several targets and many drops from him, and he just goes off. And dads will be dads, I guess. But I don't know. I hate this so much. I can't describe how much I hate this. Drew, like, what are your thoughts? What do you see? What do you think when you see this stuff?
Yeah, I saw that and I was just, interesting. One, two, Rome was asked about it a couple of times today and in the locker room, and he just he shrugged it off of being like, yeah, my dad's my number one fan. I of course he's going to kind of feel that way. But also, like, I talked to him and he's like, I'll keep it between us. But at the same time, like, I'm not upset about anything. Like, which is amazing because shows you a team player, the team player mentality that Rome has. And also, I don't think we touched on this in the review show. Rome was laying the wood.
Yeah.
And blocking like hell.
He did great.
During that game. And also, I don't think I've seen Rome be in motion as much as I saw him in that game in Cincinnati. So it's definitely something like they're asking him to do some stuff and really gets me thinking positively about Rome of like how he has bought into this system no matter what. If you're not upset, oh boy. Oh, nice one. Daniel Carlson just missed that field goal. Sorry. But also the one thing I wanted to point out of James Odunze's Twitter or his X is just the top caption of just if what, James, if what. It makes me it looks like the next Jordan Peele movie or like that's the new movie that's going to come out, new horror movie by Jordan Peele starring James Odunze. If
dude, that's so good.
Oh man,
yeah. I don't know. I think we might have had a little bit of James Odunze having a drink or two on Sunday and getting and doing some drunk tweeting. It's simple enough. It's like the Bears put up 40-something points. It wasn't like Rome didn't get targeted. He did have a couple drops, like move along. So, but Drew, you're spot on. I'm glad that Rome kind of addressed it, like, whatever. Just, it's all good. It's my pops. Love the team. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if this is all the drama we get from this Bears team, like, you'll take it. It's not that big of a deal. I think it was worth the conversation because it happened. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't like seeing this stuff because I think it's weird, but I also get that like dads will be dads and they want their kids to succeed. So if this is his way of showing that, then good for him for being involved, I guess. I don't know. Like that's like, I don't know. But I just, I wish it would not come up, but it is what it is. Another quick note I wanted to touch on is that Colson Loveland was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week / Nickelodeon MVP. Got slimed. Don't know if you guys saw the video. He got slimed by the team, which is pretty fun. It looks like the guys looked like they had a lot of fun with that one.
It was a more genuine MVP than our last Bears winner of the award, Mitch Trubisky, when I think the fan voting gave him player of the game, even though he had the worst statistical game possible. Yeah. And he was forced to take a sliming. But sorry, I'm getting myself going there. Yeah. But no, I mean, hell of a game. Well deserved for Loveland to get offensive player of the week. I mean, he killed it.
Yeah, Mitch got MVP in that game. It was a playoff game, by the way, against the Saints that they just got killed in. And I believe that was a Barstool Sports thing where they like kind of hijacked the vote and told all their fans to vote for Mitch. Yeah. It sucked. It was not a fun day. Although Aaron Rodgers doesn't have an MVP, so
there you go.
Anyway, yeah. So that was cool to see. I mean, Colson, he did have a good game. I do think if he puts up that same stat line but doesn't have like the last second touchdown, probably goes completely under the radar. Maybe like, he'll get some eyes on by fantasy players and stuff. He's not NFC Offensive Player of the Week if it's just like if he just had that throughout the game, but since he put up 48 yards or whatever in that last play unscored, I think that helps. But either way, it's good to see some recognition from fans and national media and stuff. So I'll take it. And Drew, I got some good news for you. We're back on Fox this week. And I don't know about you guys. The calling the Bears games would be Joe Davis and Greg Olsen. Joe Davis, I don't really know much of, but I do really like when Greg Olsen calls games. I think he's one of the better color commentators in the game today. So it'll be pleasant to listen to, I think, at least.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Olsen got so snubbed by
by
Tom Brady, just weaseling his fucking cloning ass into the into the booth. But I love Olsen, man, and I think that he should get a shot at a Super Bowl sometime if Fox ever does that. He's very, very good.
I want to reference Jason. If anybody listening out there did not see it, reference Jason's call out there. Tom Brady has referenced that his dog is a clone, and that was top billing on an ESPN article this week. So, yeah,
we gotta at some point we just gotta say no to rich people doing too much weird shit.
Right?
Don't clone your fucking dog, man. Just get a new dog.
Yeah,
get another dog.
Just go rescue a dog like the
rescue the dog.
There's so many dogs. There's so many dogs that need a home out there. Just go rescue the dog.
Yeah,
you don't need to clone dogs. Weird. Fucking it's so weird. God, just why? Just be normal. Why are you doing this?
I know.
Just clone my dog.
Yeah. Who's never cloned his dog though? Greg Olsen. So we got Greg on the call.
We'll take that.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
What's your name, G-Reg?
You're in announcer news though, what game Archuleta's got this week?
Oh God. What?
The Jets and the Browns. Just an absolute toilet bowl.
See, that seems about right.
Yeah.
That's what they deserve.
I put that from last show on
right.
The sidelines reporter who Ben Johnson got into that. She announced something, but it was a joke Twitter that sent out something along the lines of hey, everyone, just letting you know that the Jets and Browns has now been flexed to Fubo. Fubo TV at 3:25, so none of you will be able to watch it. Thank you.
That's probably where that one should go anyway.
Honestly, it should. My dad actually has Fubo, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So a little side story. My dad, the boomers and the technology is not really their thing. My dad got Fubo because they have Marquee Network on Fubo, and he wanted to watch the Cubs games down the stretch. He just he didn't realize that Cubs playoff games are on national TV. Well, guess what TV channels Fubo doesn't have? TNT, TBS, and all that stuff. So he just didn't get to watch. He like watched like 2 weeks of baseball for like however much he pays. It makes me
Oh,
laugh every
God.
time. So anyway, shout out my dad with his Fubo subscription. Probably the only
Hell
one
yeah,
out
dude.
there.
Elite move. Elite move.
Anyway, all right. Back to this specific game a little bit. Injury report looks a lot better than it did last week, so I think that's really important. Only had 3 real did not participates today. Josh Blackwell did not participate. He's a depth corner. He has a concussion. Dominique Robinson, who had his ankle sprain, or I think it was a sprain, in the opening kickoff or early in the game. I think that might have been against the Ravens. He did not participate. And then TJ Edwards, which with a hand and a hamstring. I think he might have went out in the middle of the game against the Bengals, right? Because I saw a lot of Sewell out there. So it was never announced on the broadcast, but I did see a lot of Sewell out there. So TJ Edwards probably going to miss the game. That's a bummer because he is a good player. But the other 2 guys, like they're depth pieces. It's, you don't want to see them get injured, but if they are injured, at least they're not like starters and contributors that you need to worry about. The good news is that, well, our guy Roshan Johnson, he's back this week, maybe.
Surprised to see Roshan on the injury report.
It's okay. He'll be a healthy scratch regardless. So it don't
Yeah.
matter. But no, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, both limited practice today. Luther Burden back from his concussion, so he'll be a full go. Grady Jarrett, well, he's just out for rest, so he'll be back. Cole Kmet was a full participant after that concussion he had last week, which is good. Manungai, DeAndre Swift, both full participants, and also a defensive linebacker whose name I cannot pronounce. Not even going to try it. Nope, not going to try it.
No.
Amen to that.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Amen to that.
I will say once again, Joe Tooney showed up on the injury report for rest, but you know what? This dude was mauling people on Sunday.
really
So
was.
if he can come out there and do the same stuff on this Sunday, like rest as much as you want, buddy. I'm not going to give you shit for it. I mean, who am I to talk shit to a guy who goes out there on Sundays and mauls people? One thing I want to say really quick, actually, and kind of triggered something in my mind. In our review show, I called out specifically the interior offensive line, and I have seen some plays that Darnell Wright made that was just some of the best blocking I've ever seen in my entire life. Again, this is the Bengals, and they're bad, and the player he was mainly matched up against was their rookie, Shamar Turner, I think his name is. Bad, but he was just on skates the whole time. Like Darnell Wright had some like high school like blocks you'd see like a elite 5-star recruit in high school against some fucking like scrub on like a I don't know, bad player. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But anyway, did you guys see those clips?
No, I
Those
didn't,
were
Nick. I'm
insane.
so glad you brought that up because I wanted to kind of touch on that too. I was listening to like Waddle and Sylvia on Tuesday, and they're like, dude, Darnell Wright was just like a grizzly bear out there. And so I did watch some of those clips, and it was like wildly impressive, like all pro level impressive stuff. Which is awesome because I was actually earlier in the season, I was like, I don't know, Darnell Wright's got to kind of show up, and man, like at least from he's doing everything well. But that run blocking was just fucking smushing people around, like elite level.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, I know it's not always the sexiest thing, but like it will be sexy if you just watch the montage of his run blocking from week 9. It's like very, very excellent to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And then actually speaking about blocking that I kind of saw from watching the tape since the game, Kyle Manungai had some really good blitz pickups. He was really, really good back there. Earlier in the season, when we took some during the bye week, we took some questions, and one of the questions was why isn't he playing more? And I guessed because he hadn't been playing. I assumed it was he wasn't a very good blocker, and either he's gotten a lot better or I was completely wrong, and he just wasn't getting touches because DeAndre Swift's your guy, but he was picking up on the touchdown to Loveland. He picked up a blitz, and they were able to score because of it. So the Bears really put on a blocking clinic. And also, like I said, the penalties seem to be coming down a little bit on the offensive line, which is good. So again, Bengals, don't get too excited, but it was a really, really, really clean game for the Bears, run game and blocking and all that stuff.
Yeah. So week one, Monangai got some run and he totally whiffed on block. I mean, that's why we were saying that is like, and then he kind of got some of his playtime limited. But what's encouraging about that is like you have Eric Bieniemy as your running backs coach. This coaching staff is finding inefficiencies and things that people aren't doing great and coaching them through it. Like this is a rookie that was a rookie in his first game in the NFL. Things come quicker and faster and blocking ain't the same. But like you're right too, Nick. Like he looked very competent. There wasn't a play that was like, oh, Monangai fucked up and like missed a block. No. You could even say that it was the opposite where he was picking up those blocks. So it's like those are the things where an advanced coaching staff, you can actually see the growth week over week. And that's really fun to see that. And so like, I don't know how, but the running game went from the first 3 weeks. Like we were calling out stats. Like they averaged 2.7 yards per carry. That's atrocious. Now they're just becoming one of the better run teams in the league. And, we'll see if that translates again with another great opportunity against the Giants poopy run D. But like, let's make it happen. Let's keep on seeing that mauling from Darnell Wright, the blitz pickups from Monangai and the kind of 150 yards on the ground plus for the Bears. That's how we'll win games.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Punch the ball in the end zone when you can. Control the ball or control the clock with the run game. I think that's a good recipe for success. All right. So I think that's going to kind of do it. Drew, do you have anything to add to the Bears-Giants preview?
No. I think we got through it. That's it.
Yeah, right.
This is the biggest thing is after this, we get into a depth of schedule.
Yep.
Post 9 games, you get into your depth of schedule of where every other week is either going to be a division game or it's a well-contested or teams that look like they're going to make a playoff run. So I wouldn't say this is a gimme. Again, no. We have to take care of what we need to take care of. 6-3 looks a whole heck of a lot better than 5-4 going into the back end of this schedule. Yeah. So take care of it and let's see a well-constructed offense and a defense that, I want to get back to the bend but don't break instead of just breaking consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Bears' schedule the rest of the way, there's a good chance that this is the last game the Bears are favored in up until maybe the Cleveland game on December 14th. And that might be it for the rest of the year. Maybe the Steelers at home. I'm not sure. We'll see kind of how things go the next couple of weeks. But there's a pretty good chance this is the last game the Bears are favored in prior to the game. So that tells me that this is a winnable game. And like I said, you have a huge opportunity here to go 3 games over 500. There's a huge difference between 6-3 and 5-4. There is. Like 6-3, that's a playoff trajectory. 5-4, you're right in like the middle of the scrum. You don't really know where you're going. It could be anything. So giant opportunity here to go 6-3 into the meat of your meteor schedule. So I really think, this is a game you should win. Don't assume that. Just, go out there, step on throats, like Drew said. Right?
Yeah. A giant opportunity. Yeah.
Giant opportunity. But
we said the name of the thing. All right. Well, that'll do it for our Bears stuff. So Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you and I want you to kind of go through, I don't want you to, but I think we should go through our Guillotine League.
Yeah, we'll get into some betting corner, fantasy, Guillotine League, all that stuff in a second here. But really quickly, just want to tell you guys that the BQ Fantasy Corner and betting, if you're looking for your next great place to enjoy a Bears game with great food and drinks and people, look no further than Chuck's Southern Comforts Buffet on Cass, just off of 55 in Darien. Chuck's has great foods and drink specials for every day of the week and for Bears games especially. You can find a link to those and their menu in our descriptions and bios on our socials. $3 PBRs, $5 Yuengling pints, and more for their Sunday specials. With a wide open layout for bar patrons, including slots for your DGens, seated dinner guests, and even private event spaces, Chuck's has everything you need for your next outing. So get on down there and tell them that the BQ boys sent you. Maybe we'll even see you for a Bears game or two this year. So, Guillotine League, 9 out, 9 in. Nick, I'm surprised again. I said this in the review while it was happening. I'm surprised we all lasted that long. But hell of a fight. I think you caught the raw end of a stick with some of your star players there, but some of the star players that went from your fab dollars in your roster, Jamar Chase, 325 to Sam Katz, Jalen Warren to dunk at 50. Jay, you got a DK Metcalf for 46, and then there were a few other $0 bets, which I'm gonna have to rely on since my money's all gone. Everyone's projected above 100 and I think 105, and it's gonna get into an absolute grind here where there's a lot of extra matchups in the free agency. Jay, what are you hoping to rely on in the back end of this season here now with just 9 teams left, half the league out, half the league in? What's your outgoing, without revealing too much, your strategy going forward?
Well, I know it's fantasy, but like the emotions that I have of being a manager without one of our 3 members still in the league is going to be weighing on me and my heart quite heavily. So it's not going to be the same without you, Nick. You will be missed, but we'll try. Me and Drew will try to carry the torch for the pod, for the good of the pod.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. This is why I love this Guillotine League so much, though, is like the Monday night of it all. Like that game just becomes so amplified on something that like it gives me more joy than like watching a big bet that I have. You know what I mean? Like it truly does. But Drew, to answer your question, it's kind of the same. The heightened kind of anxiety. It's only getting more and more severe as the weeks pass, and not having any money to buy players, and like seeing Jamar Chase, and this is where we're going to start to see players go for less and less money as budgets are smaller and smaller, which is like, oh man, I should have at least kept some money in the fab purse, if you will. But we'll see. For me, it's how long can my team remain competitive without being able to add any players? And I think I'm going to have maybe like 2 or 3 more weeks until it gets super dicey, and I'll be on the chopping block more and more frequently. So we'll see.
Well, the good news is that we have at least in another potential 2 weeks with both of us in to play this out live, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity. Just all nerves are out there because you have 2 players that lay a dud and you're out essentially at this point. So we'll continue to track that for listeners, for members, for ourselves too. But next year I think we have some good returning members to this league for sure that we'll be able to rely on. And we'll talk more about that, but I don't want to drone on too long without one of our members here and talk any more strategies. But Nick, I think you're going to take us through Pick'em.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Let's go through our fantasy Pick'em. I mean, the guillotine, just to put a bow on that really quick, was a lot of fun. I actually did enjoy that quite a bit. Coming down to the wire, like you said, Jay, was a lot of fun, and it sucks losing it, but it is a unique way to play fantasy. It's something that I definitely will be looking forward to next year. So I'm glad you're Drew. I'm glad you came up with the idea because it was a lot of fun, and I think the listeners enjoyed it too. So I'm glad my players found a good home. So thank you to all the people that took my players. But anyway,
Jamar Chase always finds his way to Sam's football team too.
Yeah.
Jay, I thought you were completely out of money. I didn't realize you had anything left. Did you spend everything you got now?
I should have corrected. I did not get DK Metcalf. I just was gonna
I thought
sweep that under the because I'm out of dough, so I don't know who got DK.
that was my bad. I thought that was you.
No, all good. I just got lazy and didn't correct anyone, so my bad.
Oh, hey, that's fine. No, you can correct it, but I'll figure it out later.
Stat correction to come later in the show.
Yeah, that'll come later. Anyway, so on to our fantasy pick'em. So this week, Drew, big week for Drew. Really just anybody who picked Brock Bowers last week was going to have a monster week. You also had Sam Darnold, who put up some big numbers for you as well. Honestly, your entire team was very good. But Sam Darnold and Brock Bowers, 3 touchdowns, that'll do it. So Drew came in first out of the 3 of us with, I think, the first triple-digit score of the season for us. So that's pretty cool, 100.9. I put up 72.64 because of Jacoby Brissett, Kyle Monangai. Oh, also, note for the listeners, on Saturday morning, it was determined that Kyler Murray was going to be out for this game. So we decided that I could just take Jacoby Brissett in his stead, and that's what I did. So Kyle Monangai, 21.3, ran the ball really well. Didn't get in the end zone. Kind of a bummer. Didn't get in the end zone, but still good game. Marvin Harrison Jr. and then Jordan Addison had a fine game. Nothing to write home about. And then Jay Jay put up 53.16. Almost a full 100 points behind me, a full 100 points behind Drew. I think really where your team went wrong, and I think a lot of people had this mistake last week. Kamani Vidal had a just miserable week against a very positive matchup. That should have been a lot more points. It was not. I think this man lost a lot of faith in people. I think, a lot of people are looking forward to Omari and Hampton coming back even more so now, myself very much included in that. So anyway, the standings, Drew is at 538. I'm at 532. And then Jay is all the way behind at 438. So full 100 points behind Drew.
I mean, I get it, Nick. 100 points behind. Just kidding.
No. So, Drew, you put up the big numbers last week. I'm going to let you go ahead and take the first pick. So, Drew, what are you doing with the first pick? We're going to go Drew, Jay, and then we're going to go Drew, me, then Jay. Get the wrap around Jay.
Yeah. This one has me a little worried, but at the same time, not at all. I really just want to keep picking the big names out there and try to hold the lead on you, Nick. I am going to pick running back 1, Jahmyr Gibbs. It was an off week for them last week with their run game, and I don't think you have 2 weeks in a row going in Detroit. Washington, It's a 325 slate at Washington, and I think the way to get right for Detroit is run the ball. It's a team that doesn't have Jaden Daniels, so you shouldn't have a huge opposition on the offense, although Marcus Mariota is plenty serviceable. But Detroit Lions got to get right after that loss last week, and the number one way they can do that is run the ball, and Jahmyr Gibbs is that number one option for him. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, Drew, I love that pick. I like that pick. You and I had a very similar thought in this, because I also am taking a Lion because I think that they're going to bounce back. I think the Commanders' defense is very bad. I think the Commanders in general are very bad, especially with Jaden Daniels not playing. So I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown as my wide receiver. And then I'm going to wrap that around with
No, you got to get to Jay first.
I know. I'm just kidding.
We're just overlooking Jay.
No.
Might as well. Man, I'm looking at this piece of paper, and all these names I have written down here just are bad players. So we're gonna just stay true to it. This is gonna be the bad week. I'm gonna take the NFC's leading rusher in total yards, Rico Dowdle, versus New Orleans this week as my 101 pick. And I'm going to do something ill-advised. And I mean, I'm telling you, if you look at the 3 quarterbacks that I have written down, I'm scratching my head why I did this, but I'm going to stay with another Carolina Panther, one of the worst looking quarterbacks of this season so far, Bryce Young. Throw him up there. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Go Panthers.
Yeah, keep pounding. Remember when that was their tagline, keep pounding, and they hit the drum? Anyway. No, I mean, the Saints stink, so you got that going for you.
That's it.
I mean, yeah. And that's about it. Yeah. So...
That's it. That's really it.
All right. Now I'll take my second pick. I am also going to go to the running back position. I am going to take, let me just make sure I got the right schedule. Yeah. I think the Dolphins run defense is trash. So I'm going to take James Cook as my running back. James Cook. Wait.
Sets up nicely.
I've taken James Cook already. Just kidding. I'm going to take Devon A-Chain because I think that I'm stuck on that game. So I'm taking A-Chain. A-Chan.
I was going to say, I have a James Cook not scoring last week cost me $3,000. And he was in a absolute controversial. They didn't review it. Josh Allen got 2 1-yard rushing touchdowns because they didn't want to give that man the ball, but he was in. I will hold to that. But all right, I'm going to get into quarterback region here, and I've got a bounce back for someone probably ill-advised to pick him right now because you saw a down week and you think it might be, but it is also damn it, I didn't see that it was the overseas game. Okay, whatever, I'm going with it. I'm still rocking with it. I'm going Indiana Jones for a bounce back here. Probably ill-advised, but been good enough and serviceable that they have a team that they should beat in Atlanta. And maybe it's a Jonathan Taylor game script, but at the same time, Daniel Jones can beat this team. So going to go with Indiana Jones and hope a bounce back. If not, I just wasted a quarterback and bye week, essentially.
I think you'll be fine.
I think you'll be fine. Indiana Jones gets to fight the Nazis in Berlin this week. Yes. Nowhere near Berlin.
The main reason why I took that is because I wanted to do the stack, and I want to take Tyler Warren for my flex. So that's the biggest reason of picking Daniel Jones is Tyler Warren. I think that's a bounce back for him of you can see success of feed that guy the ball and he will be a possession wide receiver. Did I take him?
You took Tyler Warren in week 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I did take him. Okay. Well, hey, we were bound to get here, but thank you for correcting that. Then I'm going to shift and I'm going to take his wide receiver to stack because he was on my list too. I'm going to take Michael Pittman Jr. then.
Mr. Pittman.
Yep. All right. I am going to, you guys both have quarterbacks, so I'm going to save my quarterback for now.
Smart.
I am going to take Ladd McConkey as a wide receiver, as a flex, I should say. He hasn't been as good this year as I was expecting him to be, but I think that he will have a big bounce back game. The Chargers are playing against somebody bad this week. I can't remember who off the top. The Dolphins, I think, right?
No, who they got? They got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers have a not very good pass defense. It's like bottom 5 in the league, so I like that. I like that matchup quite a bit. So Ladd McConkey.
Excellente. All right, I will round out my squad with this wraparound. I'm going to take Devonta Smith. And I'm going to take Devonta Smith because I believe we collectively somewhat advised Jamie Ensley to do the same when he was determining Vidal or Devonta Smith. So I'm in that with you, James. Give me Devonta Smith for a big game or a goose egg. It could go either way. We'll see. They're playing the Packers. Not a great matchup, but we're riding with you. And I'm going to drop into my flex DK Metcalf. I'm going to stay in that same game that you just picked from. He did not show up last week. I think he writes the ship a bit.
I'm aware of that. I am very aware of that. Yeah, he did not show up in that game. That was That was a bummer. But anyway, yeah. No, I like that pick. I mean, I think the Packers Eagles game is going to be pretty high scoring, and I think that the Steelers Chargers game should have a lot of points in it too. So I like both those picks.
We'll see. History does not like the picks I've been making, so would love something to fall my way.
Let's remind everybody, though, week 7, you took a goose egg. So,
yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. He did take a big fat 0 week 7. So
a big fat L.
Yeah. All right. For my quarterback, I want to stack. I don't know if I want to stack with my wide receiver or my flex. I think I'm going to go the ill-advised one. I think I'm going to take Justin Herbert here as my quarterback. He hasn't quite been the same with all of his offensive linemen injured. Joe Alt recently lost for the year, but I am still taking Justin Herbert because I think he'll have a big game. Again, I don't like the Steelers run pass defense, so Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Love it.
Makes sense. That I was thinking that in the Sunday night slate. Okay, what are you getting into back there? You got
a little candy, a little M&M's, M&M. Just got a mountain of candy that I'm eating.
All right, I'll wrap it up. Flex, we're going Quinshon Judkins. Have the New York Jets on their slate. Yeah. And that should be a get right game because Dylan Gabriel ain't got nothing on that offense. So Yep. That's where we go.
Yep. All right.
Good.
Locked it. It's
and
all locked in.
He's healthy, yeah? I'm good. Yeah, he's good to go. Okay, good deal.
All right. The picks have been locked in, so we will track that and get back to you guys for next week. Hopefully we see some big numbers for the three of us because we need it, So.
Always, man.
All right. So I'm going to kick it over to Jay. Jay, tell the listeners about our next segment.
Yes, big news. We're going into My Dogs Are Hungry, and it hasn't been our year. None of us are above 500 in our picks. Not great, but all. I know I'm 3-5. You guys are both 4-5. But we were worse before last week because last week we put up 3 W's. We finally hit on one of our parlays that we were doing so good at last year. Honestly, they all kind of hit cleared. All of these teams actually won the game outright too. Yeah. Which is crazy. Panthers plus 13.5. They beat the damn Packers. The Cardinals blasted the Cowboys, and the Bills handled the Chiefs. I know it was one possession, but they kind of dominated that game. So hats off to us guys. Let's keep up the momentum. Let's pick some more dogs for this week. Drew, we'll go Drew, Nick, and then I'll round it up. But Drew, take us away.
Yeah, the one thing I should say about this segment is maybe for all of our segments, we should threaten the possibility of taking them off the slate. Yeah, and then we'll hit them all because we did that with dogs last week. If we go 0-3, so maybe it's the reverse jinx. If we threaten that we're going to take it off, we'll all hit it. For me, looking at the slate, a little bit more of competition this week than in some weeks past. And I think the number one that I looked at, and I'm just kind of like, I really think that they could lose this game, but they'll keep it close. They're also 4-0 away. I'm going with the Patriots. They're getting 2.5 going to the Bucks. The Bucks are still semi-injured. They're getting some things back. They don't have Bucky quite back yet. Abuka will be back, but Drake May's been looking really good. Unbelievable that team is 4-0 away. So I'm going to just give me the 2.5 points. They're going to it's East Coast, obviously, but yep. Give me the Patriots.
Give them the Patriots. We will do that. Patriots plus 2.5. Your wish is our command. I like it. That's always going to be live. That's always going to be live, I feel. Nick, was that one that you were thinking of, or what are you going with?
Yeah, I do like that pick. It was on my board. But I'm going to go with a home dog. I'm going to take I'm going to take the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers plus 4.5 against the Rams at home. Shanahan, maybe I have my stats wrong in my head, but I feel like Shanahan kind of owns the Rams, and that might be the opposite. Actually, it might be completely wrong. But in my mind, I think Shanahan does really well against the Rams. And regardless, the 49ers are just a really well-coached team. The Rams are a good team. I'm not saying they're not. I actually just put a future on Matthew Stafford MVP at plus 500 this week because I think that he's been just balling out of his mind. But I do think that the Rams are due for a bad game and a loss here. So I don't know if they're actually going to lose outright, but I think 4.5 is a lot of points. I think the 49ers keep this within a field goal.
Nick, I had that one as number 1 on my board. So obviously I love it. And just to back your stats up, Kyle Shanahan 11-7 all time against McVay and the Rams.
Owns them 11-7. Owns them.
Well, I'll consider that ownage.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a losing record, so we're
sure.
there
For sure.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I think Purdy's back for the 49ers this week too. I think. So,
honestly, that doesn't really matter to me. I think Mac Jones has been kind of playing okay, and Purdy never really did it for me. So
yeah.
I think,
insert old slow white quarterback here, and that's the offense.
Kyle Shanahan just kind of he just has a system. I mean, anyone that plays in his system is going to be a system quarterback, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They're fine. I like the offense that Shanahan runs. So
100%. I love it. All right, I'll take us over the finish line in the dogs of the week. This is a scary line. I'm taking it more as a fan than not, but I'm taking the Eagles plus 2.5. I think they'll win the game. It's in Lambeau. It's going to be a game of the week type of a matchup this week.
It's Monday night.
It's Monday night, baby. So give me those 2.5 points. Really, it's 2.5 points. So what are you going to do? But I think that they have a very legitimate shot of winning the game. I think it's an even match, coin flip. Give me the 2.5. That sways it for me.
Yeah, I like it. Parlay all three of those together, you get plus 581. So
yeah. And boys, Margaret just came home from a work trip to NYC. So Drew, I'm going to pass the reins over to you. I'm going to say hey to the missus, and we can get into perhaps the overs of the week. Is that fair?
Yeah. No, you got the fire on this one, but Nick, keep it in.
Yeah, we're keeping it in.
Nick, you and I, like this is my favorite betting type in an over, and I just can't hit one right now. Going over overs of the week, I'm gonna keep throwing darts at the dartboard, but I'm 2-7. Nick is 3-6. All you guys follow Jason on his overs right now because he is 6-2 on a heater. I don't think he's lost for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So follow that man's overs. But just like the dogs of the week, we're going to get back on the schneid and get you one here. I got a few out there. But I want to give it to our hot hand. I want to give it to Jay. I know I kind of prefaced it, Jay, and take your time. I know your wife just got home. So
no, we're good.
But I want you to take your 1 of 1 overall. I don't want to steal anything from you potentially. I want you to keep the hot hand and let the listeners reap the rewards. So what do you got for your over the week here?
You guys are going to hate this one. I mean, just absolutely hate it, as you should, because I'm going to take us right back to Adam Archuleta. Browns, Jets. What's the number? 37.5. There's something that I just can't get away. If there's a line that's under 39 points and it's in the 30s, and there's a couple of them this week. There's some really shitty games out there this week. Unfortunately, the other game is Saints-Panthers, 39.5, 2 of which I have and my fantasy team that I just picked. So that's not good. That's not how you're supposed to do that. But no, we're going to stick with the Browns and the Jets, 37.5. Literally no reason why anyone should be tailing this or betting the over. maybe there's going to be like some freak defensive touchdowns, or Dylan Gabriel throws, 1 or 2 5-yard outs that get taken out back for house calls, right? And that's how the points can be generated. But 37.5 in an NFL game is just wildly low. So let's roll the dice.
That's too juicy. Too juicy to say no to. Those are normally things that you tease down to get to make it palpable. Like you tease that game down 4 points, you're talking 33.5. Like, how many touchdowns really can you're looking at 5 touchdowns maximum.
You could actually have a fun like side bet that's like what will there be more of, points scored by the Jets or Justin Fields sacks, and that might be close.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I had it on my board too, Jay.
Love it.
I wouldn't. I think it's probably a run-heavy game script, which would speed up the game. But at the same time, someone's got to win that game, and someone's got to show that they can win that game. And the Jets have surprised us with some points scored. Browns not yet, but we'll see. Someone's going to break the 0-something schneid because the Jets are 0-5 at home and the Broncos are 0-4 away. So maybe they'll just say, let's throw all the defensive stuff away and get some points.
Yeah, and
Nick, you got a better record than I do, so I'm going to kick the over back to you. What's your over the week?
Okay. So I like this game a lot. I'm kind of becoming a Cardinals guy with Jacoby Brissett out there instead of Kyler Murray. I just think something about him. He's played against the Cowboys and they stink, but something about him opens up that offense, and I think they just are actually kind of a fun team to watch. And with Kyler back there, they just are not. And plus, we saw the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks might be one of the better teams in the NFL right now. So I'm taking the Cardinals Seahawks over 44.5 in Seattle. I just think that neither of those teams have like great defenses, and I think that 44.5 is a lower number than I was expecting it to be. So taking that.
I think that's a Seahawks team that can get to 31 pretty easily in that game. And Cardinals can put up, 20. I agree. I think that lines off by 3 points.
Yep.
Guys, I don't know where to go here.
I don't know where to put it.
I'm 2-7. I was, Jay, while you were talking to Margaret for a second there, this is my bread and butter. I love overs, and part of the reason why we came up with this, but I have to just play with my heart here. And I'm going Bears team total over 26.5. It makes sense with what they've been doing. It makes sense for the team that they're playing. They're at home. Got to go with it. Because that's the only way I can go at this point. Hard overhead, and we're taking it.
I love it. Let's go. What was the number again?
26.5.
All right, let's do it.
Yep, our parlay for this is at plus 581. So
581. Well, hey, we're on a hot streak of having one of the bets hit, so let's get both and move on. Give it some gusto, and now we're gonna get into 3-man weave, money line, picking 7 games as we always do. Last week we had Nick at 5-2, Jason 4-3, me at 2-5. Totals not great, but we're all flirting around 500 right now.
As a podcast, we are one game under 500 total.
Okay, all right,
Not good.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to talk some games. We're going to talk some money lines here. Not a huge. I guess there's some close games, but there's some spreads that are 3.5. But games that can go either way.
I also wanted to pick some of the games that like the Jets Browns was 1.5, 2.5. Like I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go with some of the more marquee games.
Relevance.
They're close enough, I think.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have relevance in here in football. First one you have up here is Baltimore at Minnesota. I'm actually going to go first here and then kick it around to both of you guys. This was one that I was thinking of dogs of the week after Minnesota took down Detroit last week. I think Minnesota is doing well with their potential quarterback in JJ McCarthy of orchestrating a game and relying on defense. However, this is a Baltimore team that needs to win, will try to win at all costs. And I think this is a game that is going to be a little bit more defensively inclined. I'm going to take the better team in that all around, and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens for that one. And I'll kick it to you, Nick. What do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I think they're desperate, and I think that the Vikings win last week. I don't want to say fluky, but kind of fluky. You know, I mean, not that they were like, I didn't really watch a lot of it, but I just don't believe in the Vikings. And the Ravens, I think, are. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind the Ravens are going to win the AFC North, so they got to start winning games. So, Ravens.
Jay, Earthquake to start.
No, I mean, I'm going to stick with the Ravens as well. In Minnesota, again, like anytime there's a game in Minnesota, it's like, oh man, I really do believe they have a hell of a home field advantage, but I think the talent discrepancy is too large in this one. So Ravens, Lamar, healthy, all good.
All right, consensus on that one. Next, we'll go to Tampa Bay. -2.5 for Tampa Bay against New England. I already kind of picked this one, but I'm going to kick it to you, Jay. Back to you. Who you got here?
I'm going to go with the Bucks getting a little bit healthier after their bye week at home as well. I think it's going to be close. So like my hope is Bucks by 1, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
we can cover that. But I do think this is going to be a close game, and I think the line whenever you say 2.5, it's kind of a toss up. So I'm going to be on the side of Baker post bye.
Baker post bye, like that. Nick, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Jay. I think it's going to be a real close game, but I do like the Bucks. I've alluded to it a few times. The Patriots just have not really played anybody this year. This is one of their first they played the Bills earlier in the year, but this is the first their first real test. I feel like at Tampa Bay. So I like the Bucks in this game, but if the Patriots do win this game, then I will start to be a Patriots believer this season. So we'll see, but Bucks.
Yeah, not a lot of great away wins. I know I alluded to it earlier, away for New England in the Dolphins, Saints, Titans, and then their marquee win against the Bills. But something about this team getting ready away strikes me as a what's his name? Who's our coach that we like? Yeah, Vrabel is just going to get this team ready. I ever since we kind of started saying Baker's the MVP front runner, or he's got some moxie to him to do that, it just seems like it's gone a little bit downhill for him. So I'm just going to take the better looking team right at this second. And I'm going to take New England against both of your consensus. So we are going to, these two teams are dumbfounding to me. We're in Jacksonville going to Houston. I don't know if we have complete word on CJ Stroud just yet. Probably will play, even though he has a nasty concussion that he's going through. But the line would suppose that he might not play. But Jacksonville's a 1.5-point favorite. Nick, who do you like here?
I don't like either of these teams. No, I guess. Sorry, I'm looking up the Texans injury report right now to see where CJ Stroud is, and
he's going to be out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he did not participate in practice today or yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll take the Jags, but I don't really care about this game. I hope I don't see a lot of this game. It's going to be a real bummer to watch.
Well, you won't see a lot of it if you're watching Red Zone. I can just guarantee that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But yeah, I'll take the Jags.
Over the week, we were anyone was pointing towards.
No.
Jay, what do you think?
I don't like. I mean, I have way too much to say on this game, so I won't. But like the Jacksonville Jaguars are 5-3 somehow. So it's like looking at this game. like, okay, I put it in the perspective of Bears. Like Bears 5-3. 5-3 is pretty good. It's like, oh wait, you can be bad and be 5-3. The Jags are 5-3. You know what I mean? So I'm actually going to take. Oddly enough, I'm going to take Houston, knowing that they're going to be starting Davis Mills. This Houston defense really is good. And they're getting short-changed by being 3-5 for having such a dang good defense. Yeah. I'm not a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a believer in the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to take Houston even without CJ Stroud.
Yeah. 121 points scored against them in, what is that, 8 games, 9 games? 8 games. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That defense is really good. And at home, very good as well. So I'm on your wavelength here. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence against good defenses. So again, it's a poo-ish game, but at the same time, this is a division game too.
Yeah.
And they're both chasing down Indianapolis, which can't drop a game against them. And if Houston has any chance of being in the playoffs, they have to beat their division teams here. So that's the reason I'm going with Houston. Talked a little bit about this game in Dogs of the Week, but we'll get into the Rams visiting San Francisco. Rams, again, still feels like there's a little bit of points out there that that's why obviously it was picked for the Dogs of the Week. 4.5 for the Rams. I do like San Francisco, like you guys. I think their ball control and Christian McCaffrey is good. Whether Purdy starts or whether Mac Jones starts, I think they've got good game scripts on offense. Defense is a complete question mark. However, it is Matthew Stafford, plenty of weapons, and it seems like they're mostly healthy. So I am going to take the Rams in this one. And kick it to Jay. Jay, are you taking the outright Rams, or are you going to pick against Dog?
No, I'm going to take the Rams. I think this game is going to come down like a field goal last possession. So I do think it's going to be close. I like the 4.5 side of it, but I think the Rams are going to be able to kind of pull out and win the game. And the insurance policy there as well is that I just think that the 49ers defense is banged up, and I think that it gets Matthew Stafford kind of licking his chops. He knows how to deal with that and who to find and how to exploit defenses that are not quite up to par. And that's kind of where the 49ers are a little bit. So give me the Rams in this one.
Consensus, Nick?
No, I'm actually going to go against you guys. I'm going to take the 49ers straight up in this game. When these two teams play, I don't really think you can look at records or rosters or injury reports. It's just these games just get like muck it up feel to it, and weird stuff happens. I don't know. I like the 49ers in this game, mainly for their 4.5 points dogs at home, which I feel like is, I don't know. I think that's enough to just kind of get a team to step up their game and win. So I like that. I think they feel disrespected. So I like the Niners. I think Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league. And McVay's also a very good coach too, but I don't know. Something about the 49ers against the Rams. I just don't see the Rams being the 49ers.
Yeah, and fair. Apologies on that. That was your dog, so makes sense. Take the dog, take the win, take the points, all of that. It makes sense. Again, another division game, which got to win in this division if you're gonna make it to the playoffs. So we'll get into the night games. I like the night games this week. Yeah, there's not a throwaway game this week. Seemingly, it'll probably turn out during the game that one of them sucks. But first one is Pittsburgh going to the Chargers in LA. Jay, where are you leaning in this one with the Chargers getting 3 points?
I like the Steelers in this one. I think I'll probably make a play on that with the +3 and maybe sprinkle something on the money line. It's mostly the concern is with the health of the Chargers offensive line. They're absolutely decimated. we'll see if they can kind of that running game didn't show up last week with Vidal in a plus matchup, like you said earlier, Nick. And I don't think it's going to fly. Pittsburgh seemed to have something last week on the defensive side of the ball, especially against the Colts, and they looked sharp. I think I like them to kind of, do what the Steelers do and just kind of like, the momentum kind of continues forward. And I think they're finding something a little, shoring things up on the defensive side. So it's going to be problematic for their Chargers. And I think that they can win this one. I don't want to say comfortably, but I almost feel in my mind that Pittsburgh could be kind of like favorited by 1.5 points in this one. So I'm leading Steelers.
What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, for the same reason, the injuries to the offensive line, Joe Alt being out, that's a big loss for the Chargers. So I'm taking the Steelers in this game as well. I think they're going to be up from the get-go, and I think that the Chargers should be throwing the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Herbert has 55, 60 pass attempts in this game.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad thing, and that's why I'm picking the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers to me is just it's a coin flip of good Aaron, bad Aaron right now, and I think a Sunday night game. Last time we saw them on a night game, they lost. Right? They lost to Green Bay. Yes, they lost to Green Bay.
Correct.
That's the main reason why I'm picking against Aaron Rodgers. Just also because I want to see him fail too. So
that's definitely a plus for sure.
Yeah, always a plus. Getting into Monday Night Football before we get into the last game, we all know what we're picking in the last game, but Monday Night Football, we've got Philadelphia going into Green Bay being the favorite. I am picking my second team.
Yeah.
That's it. I want Green Bay to lose. I'm in that point of the season to where the Bears are doing a little bit better, and it makes so much better for having this podcast when Green Bay loses and Chicago wins and the Bears win. So yeah, if for no reason other than just want to see that happen, I'm picking second team Philadelphia, the Eagles. And Nick, what do you like?
Yeah, I'm also taking my second team here, which is, of course, whoever's playing the Packers naturally. So I'm taking the Eagles, not just because I hate the Packers and I want to see them lose on national TV, but because I think the Eagles are just straight up the better team. I know the Packers are at home, so they get a couple points, but I do think the Eagles are, like, maybe not across the board, but I think overall a better team than the Packers are. So Eagles are coming in. This game has a lot of NFC playoff seeding implications, right? If you looked on the line, the Eagles and the Packers are probably the two teams that people look at as the, maybe not right this second, but at the beginning of the season, front runners for the NFC. Because you have to throw like the Seahawks and the Rams in there too, maybe the Bucks. But besides I think that this is going to have a lot of implications down the line. And I think the Eagles are going to go in focused, and they're going to go in and they're going to win.
All right, Jay, round us off. What do you got?
Yeah, they're my dog. I agree with everything you said. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Consensus. All right. Take as much time as you want. We know what we're picking here in the last one. It could be quick, could be long. But I'm going back to you, Jay, because you made that really quick. And we're picking Giants and we're picking Bears. What do you got?
I think the Bears' run game is going to dictate this game. I think they're going to continue their success on the ground. I like going up against a rookie quarterback. I think that Jackson Dart's a lot of fun to watch, but I think that the Bears can kind of game plan around that and kind of force him into a flustered kind of game plan. And I can see the Bears winning and covering this one. So give me the Bears.
Love it. Love it. Nothing more to say from me other than I told you guys after I picked against the Bears in week 4
Washington,
or 5.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Lost Jay for a second there.
You guys pick. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not picking against the Bears. So I'm taking the Bears. Nick, tell me what you're taking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking the Bears. And it's simply put, this is, again, I mentioned it at the top of the show. It's worth repeating. This is one of the last games the Bears will be favored in this season. This is the last real this is the last game you look at it on the beginning of the like before the game and say this is a game the Bears should win on paper. Maybe the Browns down the line are kind of in that same boat, but right for a while, this is the last game the Bears are like they should win the game. So the Bears need to win this game. I think they will win this game. The Giants defense is not good. We just saw what the Bears did to a bad defense last week. So the Bears just need to keep it up, keep the run game going, see if Caleb can hit some throws. But I do think the Bears win this game I think they probably cover this game as well.
Love it. We'll put out the 3-man weave, but on to you.
Yeah. So that'll do it for all of our sports stuff. Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you for your closing thoughts, though, before we call it a show.
Yeah, I think we lost Jay's closing thoughts this week, but I was hoping mine was more of a visual closing thoughts for this week, and just picked up some stuff from Amazon, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about it. And we've got
yeah,
we got the onesies coming through. We got
nice.
the little hat.
Yep.
You know, we're going to be the 0 to 3 months here in a second. So had to pick up the Bears fandom. Got about 6 things that I'm ready for once my son comes out, ready to dress him up in, and I'm ecstatic. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. All of the feelings, you've gone through it, I know, but looking forward to putting some of those on game day. And I think my favorite one is this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. On Sundays we watch the Bears. Have to.
Love it.
So ecstatic about them.
That's coming up, right? It's only a couple weeks. Next week, what is it? I don't remember.
Due date is the 19th, but we're trending about a week and a half up. So any day now.
Oh, you're in it now, man.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have your phone on you, fully charged at all times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, turn the ringer on for the first time in like 5 years.
Yeah, can't miss that call.
You never know. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the best. Putting my not to take too much time here, but when my first son Jack, when he was born in April. So when the day he was born in the morning. The day he was born, the Cubs had a game, and sitting in the hospital and holding my newborn and watching a Cubs game was one of the really just checked off a bucket list moment item for me in my life. So so I'm happy you get to experience stuff like that coming up. Yeah, we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, maybe online or offline, whatever. But I'm very happy for you guys, and it's a lot of fun stuff coming your way.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Well, my closing thoughts, not as life-changing or fun or anything as Drew's, but very fun still. Drew, college basketball is back this week. College basketball's back. NBA is kind of getting in full swing. NHL, we just had the world. But honestly, I never thought 2016 World Series would ever be topped in my lifetime. But this was the best baseball I've ever seen in my life. All 7 games were so good. This is the best week to be a sports fan you could possibly imagine. Maction going on all over the time. There's just sports on sports right now. So no matter what you're a fan of, just kick back and enjoy some sports this week because they're everywhere right now. I got to catch Marquette beat the shit out of Southern University yesterday, so that was pretty fun. And it's just the best. One of my favorite things is I get home from work on a Wednesday, and I'm I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. There's no football on today, but now it's college basketball. There's definitely something to watch. So just just enjoy the sports that we have right now. That's really my closing thought, is just go turn the TV on, watch sports, enjoy yourself.
We're past the equinox a little bit, but at the same time, there's something every night now.
Oh yeah.
There is something every night. And whether it's once the college basketball season gets into that that full blown slate and you're actually watching games other than just the top teams stomp on some other teams. Yeah. This is why we live through the late spring, early summer of baseball and nothing else. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To get to this time.
Absolutely.
I'm with you.
Yeah. 100%. And Jay's closing thoughts. I'm sure he had something really nice to say. He'll get back to us next week with that though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's going to do it for us over here at Barely Qualified. So on behalf of Jason Maxwell and Drew Bailey, I'm Nick Lavris. Thank you for listening. And as always, we will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.